Hi friends, it's Lauren here at Craft Some Joy, and we are back with another edition of Scrap with Us. This time it's our National Scrapbook Day celebration. Kylie and I are so excited to share our layouts with you, and this bonus layout from each of us is also included in our layout guide. So today we are going to be creating a fun bonus page together that is included in our handouts. So today we're going to be doing this layout. And if you want to keep the fun going, then you can join me in my National Scrapbook Day workshop, which you can get on my website at craftsomejoy.com. And we can go through step by step how to create all these beautiful layouts together. There's video instruction, there's the handouts with all these pages of cutting guides, as well as sketches for you to create the layouts with me together. When you're finished watching this video, I would love for you to hop on over to Kylie's YouTube channel at Paper Sweet Pea. And if you are in Australia, well, she's your girl. Grab her social and shopping links in the description of this video as well. And join in the fun when she creates her National Scrapbook Day project. Okay, are you ready to have some fun? Let's go. All right, so I can't wait to share with you this bonus page from my National Scrapbook Day handouts, and this can be done after we've completed all the other layouts in my National Scrapbook Day workshop. But I just also wanted to share this really fun layout here with you on YouTube. I had to channel my inner Kylie and do some paper crafting. So to create this layout, we are going to need some of our National Scrapbook Day supplies, including the laser cuts, some of the cardstock from the cardstock sampler, the project recipe papers, and also some scraps left over from the accessory paper pack, as well as if you have purchased my NSD Layering Shapes 2023, we're going to be using one of the shapes from this pack. So you don't have to have all that. Of course, you can always use this sketch and layout with different papers and embellishments and just kind of create your own layout with it. So let's get started and jump into what we're going to do to build our layout. Okay, so let's get started and pull the supplies that we're going to need to do our layout. We're going to have as our base the Island Waters cardstock, and I'm going to use a full 12 by 12 sheet. Of course, you're welcome to cut it or gut it, depending on how much paper you'd like to save for this layout. We're also going to need the striped paper from the project recipe kit, and this has the watercolor green on the background. And we're going to need 2 strips from the accessory paper pack. And this is the sun paper on one side and kind of this turquoise pattern paper on the other side. So we're going to need a couple strips of that. We're also going to need some lemon paper, and I'm just going to use a smidge of this paper. So a tip here is if you do like this paper and want to create a layout with it, there's plenty of this left over from creating the layouts with my National Scrapbook Day layouts. And so you could definitely use this, but we today are going to use just a little smidge from one of the lemons. I'm going to take this little cutout from it. And that you can also substitute for other paper. And then from the laser pack, let's grab that. Out of the laser pack, we are going to need from the strips this wave laser border. This one, and we're going to use the yellow polka dot side of that border. And then last but not least, we're going to need some fun little embellishments. And so we're going to grab the sticker sheet out of the project recipe kit, and out of my layering kit, we are going to need this really fun stitched banner die cut. So you can kind of see that's a die cut with stitching. Now, if you didn't get the layering shapes from my Scrap Some Joy shop, that is fine. You can also just cut a white banner as a layering piece for your layout. Okay, so now we've got all our components. Let's get started on the measurements and building our page. The handouts that come with my National Scrapbook Day class and that are available on my website always have a cutting guide that goes along with it. So for this striped paper, I'm just going to turn to the layout with that. And you can see that it's this big block right here that we're going to need to cut for our striped paper. And of course, this is a directional paper, so I always want to make sure we're following the direction on the handouts. So this is going to be an 8-inch wide paper. So we're going to start with our trimmer and go ahead and cut an 8-inch strip. The paper here. And then we want to trim just a 1/2 inch off the bottom, just so that we have that nice little reveal of the Island Waters cardstock. So this is going to be an 8 by an 11.5 inch paper. Okay, so that's just a little extra, and we're going to use this sheet. This will be used for the other layouts in my workshop. Our next layer is going to be this beautiful sunny yellow paper, and it has the citrus slices on the back. And we are going to need a 3 3/4 inch strip of this paper. So we're going to move that here. Go ahead and trim that down, 3 3/4. And again, all the rest of this paper will get used in my National Scrapbook Day layouts. And then we're going to need 2 more strips. One is going to be a 2-inch strip of the sun paper, and then we're going to trim this down to 8 inches. So it's a 2 by 8 inch strip, just like this. Okay, and then the same for the reverse side, except this is a 1-inch strip, and we're going to trim this down again to 8 inches as well. So we're going to have a 2 by 8 and a 1 by 8 inch strip. Okay, so now that we have our base pieces cut, let's go ahead and put our base page together, and then we will work on doing the embellishing. So we're going to start by adding our striped paper to the background, and I'm going to make this go all the way over to the edge just so that there is an even edge around all 3 of these sides, and then add some adhesive to the background, and then just lay that right in top, right on top. Okay, and now we're going to add our border layer, which is our 3 3/4 by 12 inch strip. So I'm going to add some adhesive to this, and then again putting that in place just so that I have that same reveal over here on the left side, just about 1/4 inch, and place that right on top of our layout. Okay, once we have our border piece in, now we can add our layers. So we have our first layer, which is our light sun paper, which is our 2-inch by 8-inch strip. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that as our first base layer. So we're going to have everything lined up right up along the top. Now our next strip, we're going to do a little dovetail cut. So we're just going to snip the center and then go ahead and cut up toward that snip. just to create a fun little banner cut. And then what we want is this piece to just go almost to the bottom. So I think I'm just going to trim just an eensy bit off the top, just so that it floats just a little bit above that other 8-inch piece. So I'm just actually going from the cut line to the first dotted line. That's all I'm taking off, just so that we have a little bit of a reveal right here. Okay, now add our adhesive. And we're going to put this one in place as well. Just like that. And then now we're going to get our layering banner piece. So this is just cut out of white cardstock. And I love having scraps to do other things when we are working with our layouts. So this was cut and is part of our die cut pack. But if you'd like to make your own banner, you can cut yours. This one is a 1.5 by 5-inch banner. Okay, 1.5 by 5 inches. We're going to add some adhesive and we're going to layer that right on top as well. Okay, so most of my layouts used a lot of these stickers. And what was left was this really cute sticker that said, "Hello, Sunshine." And what I realized is that when I just put it down, it kind of got lost on its own. So I just took a scrap of this bright yellow sun paper, and it's the one with the outline of the citrus on the back. And I'm going to create just a little background layer for this sticker. So I'm just going to go ahead, take my sticker, put it on that paper, and then I'm just going to cut around it. So we're going to be using some scraps for this next part, and just keep those handy from what you have left from the layouts and from what you have left from the cuts we've just made. So I'm going to take this and just cut that so that there's a nice dark yellow background. So now you can see how much that really does add some dimension and background with the yellow behind it. And speaking of dimension, of course, we're going to have to use a little foam tape to give this sticker just a little bit of dimension on the page as well. So I'm just going to cut a couple strips of my foam tape, add that. So now I have that cute little embellishment ready to go and be layered on my border strip here. So the last piece I want to add in here is this gorgeous laser strip. And again, this was one of the extra pieces that were left over from my layouts. But I thought how beautiful it looked on this layout and just added some dimension and texture. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of this laser strip. And then we're going to tuck it right on our border. So you may have to kind of move that banner just a little bit, but it's going to go right along the edge here. So now we've got all these different layers and textures, which I just love. So now we're going to work on creating this super fun little cut paper sun embellishment. So in order to create this embellishment, we're going to need a few supplies. You're going to need to grab your precision point scissors, your repo, and your regular adhesive. Some of those scraps that are left over in the dark yellow sun and the light yellow sun paper. Also, if you have a scrap of white cardstock, that's going to be really handy. The smallest circle cutting pattern, as well as the red blade, and then the lemon paper. And as I mentioned, this is a personal choice whether you want to use the lemon paper in another layout, or if you don't mind cutting a little circle out of one of the lemons for our sun. Now you can also use, again, this yellow paper that would make a beautiful center for the sun as well. So to create the center of the sun for this little embellishment, I'm actually focusing in on this lemon right here. So for me, I know that I probably would not use this lemon paper on a layout, or at least probably not all of it, maybe a part of it. And so I'm okay just going ahead and taking a little smidge from this lemon here. So what I want to do is put the pattern down, and the biggest thing is just to pay attention to that little green leaf in there and make sure that your blade doesn't catch that leaf. Because suns don't really have green, but if you do catch it, you could always put a little piece of yellow over it. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just play around with the placement of my pattern. And then again, like I mentioned, I'm going to check to see that I'm clearing the green, and it looks good there. And I'm going to pull that up just a little bit, get some more of that yellow in there. And okay, I think we're good about right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that little yellow circle right out of that lemon. And all of a sudden, to me, now that's no longer a lemon, but it's the center of the sun. I love it. So now what we need to do is cut some circles out of a piece of white cardstock. And this is just a scrap paper that I have. And we're going to cut 4 circles out of that white cardstock. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this is cardstock, so you want to make sure you are loose. And then we're going to give some dimension to our sun. So go ahead and use your regular adhesive. And we're going to put regular adhesive on 3 of these circles. And then we're going to just stack them up. And this is one of my favorite techniques when you want to add dimension, but you don't want to add dimension with a foam square, which gives a lot of dimension. This adds dimension, but just a little bit, just enough to let you know that that has a raised edge, and it just makes it kind of solid and easy to work with. I have just a little smidge here on the side. I'm going to trim that off. Okay, so now I have this really nice stacked sun that we're going to use as the center of our embellishment cluster. Now just save this piece. We're going to use that in a little bit. So now we're all going to get our inner Kylie to come out, and we are going to do some paper crafting. I'm so excited. So in order to create this fun sun, we're going to do some fringe layers. And it really just depends on your comfort level and how much you want to use your imagination to create this fringe. But you just need a little bit of paper. Okay, you can see I don't have much. And then we're going to just cut some slits in this paper. And if you've watched Kylie do her paper flowers, I know she just has a lot of fun creating with paper. So we're going to just do the same thing and create some fringe out of the lighter yellow paper here. And again, you can see this is when we put this together, it's going to be very organic. You can just crumple it and scrunch it and just let it look like it's tattered. I know Kylie always talks about how that gives it a lot of character. So we're going to do that to our fringe, and these are going to be the sun rays, the rays that go around our sun. Now let's get our dark yellow background ready as well. And again, I'm just going to cut another strip of this. I'm using about 1-inch strips for these different pieces, but you can do this just kind of according to what makes you happy. And here again, I'm not paying attention to whether it's a long strip, short strip, how far or how close. I think it looks better when it's not consistent, when it is just kind of a random snip. Okay, so again, just finishing off a couple more snips there. And let's tatter that little piece. So fun. I love crinkling paper. Okay, so now we have our dark yellow sun rays and our light yellow sun rays. And I might have to make some more. We'll have to get started and kind of see how things go. But what I want to do is put the dark yellow first next to the sun. So go ahead and let's load up the back of our sun with adhesive, because we're going to need a lot of that for this paper to stick to. And let's start with the dark yellow, and you can either work from the front or the back and just kind of start pulling this around your circle shape. And now we're going to just keep going around, kind of pulling our paper in and sticking it to that back with all the adhesive in it. I know I need to add a few more rays in here. I think I'll pull this apart and just tuck those in there. And if you need to add in this process, if you need to add more adhesive, you'll find I just keep layering that adhesive up. Okay, so you can see now I have this kind of random pattern that for this first layer of rays going around my center. So now I'm just going to add some more adhesive on the back where I have this first layer, and then we're going to add the second layer of the lighter yellow rays. Okay, so again, just loading up on the adhesive. So we have lots of different areas for that to stick. Okay. So I feel like that is really nice and full and has all these fun little fringe layers. The last little detail, if you want to come in and do a little snipping on some of the pieces, again, that just kind of adds a little fun. So the last thing we want to do is add just that security piece, which is our last piece of white cardstock. And that just kind of helps keep everything in place and gives you a nice solid place to add your adhesive when you're adding this to the layout. Okay, so now let's put the finishing touch on our layout. We've got our beautiful sun and our really cute little Hello Sunshine embellishment. So I'm going to take the backing off my adhesive and just place that right in here. And then now I've got a nice place to add in my Hello Sunshine and Tattered Sun embellishment right here in the front. And there you have it. There is our bonus layout, including our very own crafted paper sun, which I think is just so fun. Well, thank you so much for joining me today to create this fun bonus layout for my National Scrapbook Day celebration. If you'd like to grab the handout so you can do the rest of my layouts, you can find just the workbook available on my website at craftsomejoy.com. And if you would like the video instruction to show you how to go step by step through all of these different layouts, then join my NSD with CSJ 2023 class. You get the handouts and you get a recorded video in my private Facebook group that takes you step by step through all of the cutting guides as well as creating the other layouts in my NSD collection. And if you haven't had a chance to hop on over and check out Kylie's beautiful layouts for her National Scrapbook Day celebration, make sure to see her bonus video here on YouTube, and I have the link in the description, or hop on over to Paper Sweet Pea and you can also grab her layout and cutting guide as well for National Scrapbook Day. So once again, thank you for joining in the fun. If you've enjoyed this video, it would be so great if you could leave a comment and give a thumbs up to let us know that you enjoyed this content. Kylie and I love bringing you fresh new ideas right here on YouTube in our Scrap With Us videos. So until next time, I hope you take time to craft some joy. Bye for now.